One thing I was going to about guitars is this is a cool thing. You know, Danny and I have worked with the guys at G&L, and this guitar that I play a lot. This is called I don't know if you can see. This is called a Skyhawk, and the thing that's cool about this guitar is that so Leo Fender went and started G&L when he left Fender, and his shop. Danny and I saw his shop down there at G&L. He designed this guitar but never made it. He didn't, I guess, and he passed away. So they had the design for it, and they went ahead and manufactured it. So I've been playing. These are beautiful guitars, and also the Paul Reed Smith. Both of these guitars seem to sit right between the Les Paul that Waddy's playing and the Tellys or the Doheny that Danny's playing. And that sonically, it's not. We definitely. They seem to really.
They're all three very distinctive.
Yeah.
Breadths and widths.
The Paul Reed Smith has this shimmer that brings out when I'm doing sort of, because I simulate some acoustic stuff, like in Machine Gun Kelly, I'm kind of playing the James Taylor part, but we're not schlepping acoustic guitar around. But that guitar, it cuts through kind of in the way an acoustic would. So that's what I'm playing. But this is I kind of dig that this was actually designed by Leo. And then
that's great. I didn't realize that.
It's like a bigger.
We're talking guitars, you know. I grew up on Gibsons, but I cherish my Strat and my Telly and all the other axes that I use. But and Billy Asher, I've got a beautiful guitar he made for me,
right.
A Strat-like guitar that I use on Stevie's tour. But
Strat sounds when you play that Strat, man, I love it.
Yeah, I like your sound. I like your sound on the Strat.
Yeah, we're going to be incorporating that sound on this coming record.
Yeah.
Well, just rehearsal yesterday, when you put it on, you were going, "Oh man, I love this Strat." We're all going, "Sounds great, man." I mean, it's really good.
I know you guys like it, but it's quieter,
I knew there was a reason.
Quiet's a relative term when it comes to stuff. Okay.
I wanted to say something about having pedals and stuff. I realized I lied a little because the first pedal I actually bought was when I was about 15 or 16, when all I did was listen to the Ventures and anything else I could get my hands on. But the Ventures had an album called The Colorful Ventures, and great record. But on there was one song where there was this distinctively different sound, something like I'd never heard before, and I, for the life of me, couldn't figure out what it was. And walking by Manny's one day in the city, in the window of Manny's, I saw this little gray pedal, said Maestro Fuzz Tone. And when I saw it, I realized that has to be what I'm hearing on that Ventures record. So I went in and I said, Henry, I got to hear that pedal. Let me hear that pedal. So he hooked it up for me. I heard it. I went, that's it. I got to have this. I stole enough money, I think, from my father to come back and, buy the thing. Brought it home. I couldn't wait. I was in a little casual band. We do, weddings and bar mitzvahs and dances and things like that. This little band, not a rock and roll band, trumpet and vibes and guitar and drums. So I was so anxious to play this thing. And we get down to, the next rehearsal and I plug it in. I played a few notes and everybody looked at me like, are you nuts? You can't use that. Are you insane? I said, no, it's great. Listen to that. And they went, it's horrible. It sounds like your amp's broken. But no, man, it's great. You don't love it? No, we don't like it at all. Oh, man. So I put it away, and it was from when I was 16 till whenever Satisfaction came out. And I remember driving my father's car one afternoon, and on Queens Boulevard, you know, time date things when you hear them, you know where you were. All of a sudden, on comes Satisfaction, and I hear that fuzz tone, and I went, all right, now I can finally use that thing. I told Keith that he was cracking up, but I had it sitting for like 2 years or something before I could actually touch it. And then I just brought it out. I said, now we're using it.
That's great.
So
everyone bought one of those things after Satisfaction came out.
Yeah.
I ran out and got one,
Right.
Not the Maestro, but it was a piece of shit, but I loved it, it was great. You get that sound.
Years it was in the closet.
Yeah. I have a gear question for everyone, which I don't know the answer to, which is, what is the first piece of musical equipment that you had. I'll start because mine is right there. When I was 8 years old, we went to Manny's. That's a Goya G10 nylon guitar. That's my first musical piece of gear. How about you, rest of you guys?
Mine was a Stella. My mother bought me a Stella acoustic guitar. It's terrible. It's a piece of crap, but it was, that's what I started on. A lot of people start on Stellas, as you know. And now I named my daughter Stella. So
That's right. What about you, Lee?
When I finally went from upright to electric, just so I could finally not be bleeding and be heard, my dad took me to Stein, which originally was in the Musicians Union building and not across the street, and bought me a St. George amp and a melody bass.
Right? You cut out for a minute.
Oh, it was Stein on Vine. But in the early days, Stein on Vine was actually in the Musicians Union building and not across the street. And so my dad got me a melody bass and a St. George amp.
Wow.
It was my first foyer into electric.
got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
What did you start on, Russell?
A pair of drumsticks and a practice pad.
That's great.
That my mom bought for me. Yeah, that was. I actually played them in junior high school in ninth grade at a talent show with two guitar players. I played a practice pad because that's all I had.
That's great.
That's great.
That's awesome.
That's called commitment.
I'll tell you what. That's right.
I started, I wanted to play guitar from the time I was 5, but my father kept brushing me off. And he started trying to repeat. He bought me a ukulele, and he handed me this thing. At first, it's this big. I went, this has only got 4 strings on it. This isn't a guitar. Get this out of here. Get it out of here. He tried to, no, that's a guitar. It's not a guitar. It's got 4 strings. I know it's got 6 strings. It's got that. So, now my 9th birthday, I got now hold on, boys, Kamiko.
Mm-hmm.
There's a word you don't hear too often.
Was that acoustic or electric?
Translator.
No, it was acoustic. It was definitely not electric. It was a little piece of crap. And they're still on. If you Google it, you'll find them on the net. It's unbelievable. But yeah, Kamiko, and I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. I couldn't believe it. I finally had a guitar in my hands, and but then a year later, he got me my first real guitar, which is a gorgeous Gibson L7.
Oh,
wow.
It eventually got stolen, unfortunately, but it was just beautiful. Beautiful jazz box.
Yeah. My first electric. My dad bought me a Gibson blue melody maker for my 10th birthday.
Wow.
And the thing was though that I didn't know that you could change the action, and the action was like, so I thought, wow, electric guitars are really hard to play.
Boy, these things are tough.
Yeah, compared to my Goya. So I sold it for $110 and bought a Jazzmaster, which was easy to play, but of course the melody maker I wish I still had. I wish I still had them both.
You had them both, yeah.
Melody Maker bass.
Oh yeah.
It was. When I got my 2 real good instruments were a Melody Maker bass and a 62 jazz bass, which I picked up for $90. And I finally had to make a choice between them, and I needed some money, so I sold the Melody Maker and kept the jazz bass, and that's the one I carved into my Peace Love bass that I used on all our early section stuff and James and all that. But that Melody Maker was really a sweet instrument.
When did you get a drum set, Russ?
The first drum set I played, I borrowed from a friend of mine. His father played drums before, and he stopped. And it was a beautiful gray sparkle Gretsch kit that his dad didn't play anymore. So that's the first kit I used. I got to use it for about a year and a half, and then I think his dad realized that someone was getting too much enjoyment out of his out of his drum kit, and he wanted it back. And then my mom saved up money. She was managing apartments in Long Beach, and I was cleaning the pool and doing all the gardening, and she saved up enough money to buy me a sonar kit that I got from Wallach's Music City, and that ended up being the drum kit that I played on Fire and Rain and
Wow.
and so many other things. I turned it in. I gave it to Bob Yeager at the professional drum shop, and when he got me my first pearl kit, I gave him that kit, and he gave me a brand new black pearl kit for, I think, about $300. Mm-hmm. He was really a big mentor of mine. He is, if anybody knows who Bob Yeager is, he started the professional drum shop in L.A., and he was a pioneer and a character you wouldn't believe. Chain smoking cigarettes, you know. He goes, "Congo, what the hell are you doing playing that kit? Come over here. I'm gonna get your kit." You know,
he was a pal of Maury Stein's, and these guys, that troop of guys was really something.
Yeah.
You know,
he hung out.
Some hardcore guys right there.
He hung out with Philly Joe and Louis Belson and Buddy and all those guys. They all hung out together, man. He was the first drum shop in L.A. It was just his birthday the other day too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Great, guys.
I guess now we just have to take all this gear and make some good music next week.
That's it.
Play on that stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. We want to
to.
thank everybody that's out there watching us and listening to us. We love you.
Yep.
And check out our next stuff. It's coming up.
Yeah.
Coming up. It's going to be real good.
Yeah,
Thanks
please.
for tuning in to TIF Talk.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. All right, man.
Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Don't let 'em